Hello, my name is Josh Baker. Here's my audience.
As well as myself.
Okay, today I'd like to talk to you about the different types of snakes in the United States. So you have your poisonous and non-poisonous. So I want to cover today what happens if you do come encounter with them, of any type of snake, if you come in contact with a poisonous or non-poisonous snake, what to do if you do come in contact with them, and as well as if you do get bitten by one of them. So there's going to be a lot of facts involved in here. I'm going to go ahead and give my sources. So first, one of the sources says that the World Health Organization does not know exactly how many snake bites a year can actually happen. They can't have an actual number, but they do estimate that 81,000 to 138,000 people die per year from a poisonous snake bite. Children often suffer more severe effects than adults because they have that weaker immune system. So, knowing whether the snake is poisonous and non-poisonous gets you ahead of the curve. So, with me being an outdoorsman, always hunting, fishing, camping, doing stuff that, being outdoors, I've ran into a lot of snakes in my time being out there. I've also owned snakes in the past. I used to have 2 ball pythons. They are not poisonous. They can't really be harmful to anyone, but I have owned them myself. So that being said, we're going to go ahead and go into what to do if you do encounter a certain type of snake. So the 4 most common snakes in the United States that you could run into anywhere throughout the United States, but mainly here in Tennessee, we have the biggest thing is cottonmouths. So I know the pictures aren't the greatest because they didn't come out with color, but if you can see here that, there you go. So if you see the mouth of the snake, so the biggest thing is that a cottonmouth is pretty much what it is. If you look into the mouth of the snake, it's very white. It's got kind of like a foamy look to it, and that's where it's got its name. So that's easily to identify that the first. So next you have the timber rattler snake. So that being said, all across the United States there are different types of rattlesnakes. I picked the timber rattlesnake because that's the most common in Tennessee, but there are different types. Next you have your northern copperhead. The coral snake. Again, I know that there's no color in them, but on the coral snake they do have different colors, as in white, black, red, orange, yellow. If you see one of those, stay away from it. First thing is you want to leave the snake alone. Make several feet between you and the snake. Most of the time you're not going to know even a bite is coming, but if you do hear that rattlesnake, the rattler of it, or hear maybe a hissing noise or something like that, you need to just make clear of it. Next, you want to identify if the species is poisonous or non-poisonous. So we will go into that a little bit later, how to identify that. But if you can identify if it's poisonous or non-poisonous, it'll tell you how more aggressive that snake could or could not be. So if you do run into a snake inside your home, the first thing you want to do is call a professional. You want to avoid driving the snake into a hiding spot anywhere throughout the home. If it hides, then it can get in different places in the home. Now you can't find it, and the inspector can't find it as well. Open nearby doors and windows so that the snake can't escape. And then try to confine the snake. Use objects around there to make sure that the snake can stay in one area. Now I got all these sources from Terminix. They are a huge pest control company throughout the United States. They're well known, and this is the things that I pulled from them that they use on a daily basis. So the next thing you need to know, pretty much what areas are more common to have those type of snakes. So if you're around a pond, swimming areas, rivers, or other related geographic areas related to the state, that show that these different kinds of snakes could be around. So if you're around water, a water moccasin could be closer than maybe a copperhead, and copperheads mainly stay inside the woods, stuff like that. So next I want to go ahead and talk about the differences between a poisonous and a non-poisonous snake. So here in this picture, as you can see, A poisonous snake has more of a triangle shaped head. A non-poisonous snake has more of a round head. The pupils on the snake are almost like a cat's pupils. They're up and down. They're very slender. That means that it is a poisonous snake. So, lastly, I wanted to talk about what happens if you do come encounter with a snake. You do get bitten by a snake. What to do next. So, WebMD states that the main procedure is get emergency help as soon as possible. Leave the snake alone and try to make note of what the snake was. If you can tell what type it was, they can maybe diagnose a little bit quicker. Try not to move the limb the snake bit so that the blood pressure and everything kind of stays more calm, so the blood and the venom doesn't move faster throughout your body. Lastly, you want to remove all jewelry or anything like that. So if the snake bite does start to swelling or become swollen, that it won't kind of cut off the circulation there at that part of your limb. So that being said, you can use these facts at any time point in life. You could be mowing your grass, you could be hunting, could be fishing, and you could come encounter with any type of these snakes. So now, hopefully this presentation is giving you the information that you need to know about how to treat, diagnose, and everything else with a poisonous or non-poisonous snake. That concludes my presentation. Here's my audience.